Hello, hello. Today I'm going to do a little tutorial about Surya Namaskar B, Sun Salutation B. Sun salutations, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, are all about warming up the body, bringing in that energy, that light of day, saluting the sun, right? That sun energy, that active energy in our body and in the universe. So yeah, this practice is considered a full and complete practice on its own. This can be the only yoga practice you do all day and you're working every aspect of your body. Or, it's just a great way to warm up for the rest of the postures and the rest of your classes. So we're going to move through that today. So come to the top of your mat. We'll start off slowly, just going through the postures one by one, and then we'll breaking it down first, and then we'll do it with the flow of the breath. So come to Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of your mat, feet about hip width distance apart. And start to just feel your weight in the earth, all four corners of your feet, rooting down. Feel your legs strong and engaged. And then start to bring that engagement and that energy up through the rest of your body into your hands and out through your fingertips. You want the whole body to feel engaged here, turned on, like energy is shooting out your fingertips. Relax the shoulders down and just begin to breathe. Start off with just getting present with your breath, how your body is feeling today, and moving from a place of thinking to feeling. Start to blink the eyes open and we'll move into our first posture. Sit the hips back and low as you reach the arms forward and up. Coming into chair pose, Utkatasana, you're going to want to think about lengthening the tailbone here. So kind of tilting the pelvis bowl forward a little bit as if you don't want any water to drip down. Keep the back of the neck long. And if this is too much on your shoulders, just bring the hands right out in front of you. Otherwise, try to reach them up. You can be as high or as low as whatever is accessible for you. And just take a few deep breaths here, really strong for our core engagement, hugging the navel back toward the spine. And then the next posture, going to bring the hands together and fold forward, Uttanasana, forward fold, nose toward the knees, lengthening the spine, relaxing the back of the head and neck, and bending your knees as much as you need here to really allow the back body to relax. And then you're going to halfway lift, bringing the hands to the shins, gazing a few feet ahead, just basically flattening your back, lengthening the spine, making a 90-degree angle. And then plant the palms and step back into high plank. From here, I always like to start off by lowering my knees down first, stretching the toes back, and then beginning to lower the upper body while hugging the elbows in toward the rib cage. Once you get all the way to the mat, you can stretch your toes out long, and then slowly begin to peel your upper body off of the earth, keeping your low ribs tacked in the first time around, just a low cobra, Bhujangasana. And then you're going to send your hips back toward your heels, curl the toes under, and then lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Fingers spread wide, feet about hip width distance apart. It's always nice to start off by just wiggling the hips side to side a little bit, pedaling out the legs to wake up the hamstrings, and see if you can relax a little bit more through the shoulders. You really want to think about lengthening the spine here more than straightening the legs. So bend the knees as much as you need to really lengthen the spine, tilt the tailbone up, and then begin to find stillness. So our next move, you're going to bring your right knee in toward your chest and then step it forward or as far forward as you can come in between the hands. You can always use your hand to help you come forward here. Go ahead and just drop the back heel down, and the back toes are now going to be about catty-cornered to the corner of the room, to the corner of the mat, about a 45-degree angle. your front knee is just over your foot here, knee always going in the same direction as the toes, and then you reach your arms straight up to the sky. So really pressing through the outer edge of the back foot and sinking a little deeper in the front leg. Your hips, again, are not fully straight and they're not fully to the side. They're pointing in the same direction as your toes, so just to the corner of the room. See if you can knit your ribs in a little bit here as you reach the arms up. Relax the shoulders. This is Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. And then you bring the hands back down and just step right back into downward facing dog. And then we take Warrior 1 on the other side. So reaching the left knee in toward the chest as you begin to shift your weight forward, round forward, and then step your foot through or use your hand to help it. Drop the back heel down and rise all the way up for Warrior 1. Same thing on this side. Toes and hips are on the diagonal, about 45-degree angle. When you reach the arms up, relax the shoulders, knit the ribs in so that we're not pressing out a ton like that. And knees are always just going in the same direction as the toes. Pause there, feel your strength, sink a little bit deeper maybe as you press through the outer edge of the back foot, and then bring the hands back down. Step the foot back, high plank, and take your little vinyasa, flow your chaturanga, lowering down, and then taking your little back bend. You might feel open enough at this point to press the tops of your feet and your hands into the earth and lift the kneecaps off the ground to come into full upward facing dog. And then send the hips back toward the heels and lift them up for downward facing dog. Now bend the knees, gaze forward, and then step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Keep the neck of the spine and the neck long. And then exhale, fold. And then inhale, sends your hips back and low. Reach the arms forward, chair pose, Utkatasana. And then on your next exhale, you rise, bring the hands down to the side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Beautiful. So now that we've broken down each of the postures of Surya Namaskar B, let's move through it with the breath. So if you need to at any point, just take a little bit longer in each pose. Some of them kind of pack a lot into one breath, but you can always just pause and go at your own breath. The idea is one breath to movement. Or one breath to one movement. So, but like I said, it's a lot for each movement on some of them. So it's okay to just pause and go at your own breath or at your own pace. But this is a great practice for practicing slowing down your breath and having more regulation, more control over your breath, which is a great practice for helping us to regulate our nervous system. So if you can, try to lengthen your breaths out. That is going to be an awesome practice for you. Also help you expand your breath capacity. So moving together with your breath. Start off just reaching the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center to reset. Then your next inhale, sit the hips low, reach the arms forward, chair pose, Utkatasana. And then exhale, hands come through heart center, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms and step back into high plank as you slowly lower down. And then inhale brings you into the back bend. Exhale for downward facing dog. Pause here for a few breaths. And then your next inhale brings your right knee forward, step it through and rise all the way up to Warrior 1. Exhale brings the hands back down and step back just into high plank or just into downward facing dog. And then inhale, your left leg steps forward, back heel down, rise all the way up, warrior one. So like I said, that's a moment where it kind of takes a really long breath to get there. Exhale, brings your hands all the way back down and step back for high plank and then lower down. And here's another one where you've got to really lengthen out the breath to stay with the whole posture all the way through. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then bend the knees, gaze forward and step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And then exhale to rise. So, you can try to move at the pace of your own breath. You can always, my tip for getting from down dog to warrior one, because that's kind of a lot for one breath, is on the inhale. So you're here. On the inhale, step it forward. Or maybe that's an exhale. And then inhale to rise. Right? And then same thing, other side. So when you're going through the chaturanga, you can pause for a moment in high plank. Take a deep breath in and then begin to lower as you exhale. And then you reset. So you can take just a moment. You can take, in any of these, you can just take a little pause and take one more extra breath. So exhaling to step forward, set up your legs in warrior one, and then inhale to rise the upper body. So that's what I like to do to slow it down a little bit. Hopefully that helps. And if you have any questions or comments, if you want to see any other videos like this, then please comment down below. If you found this valuable and helpful in any way, please share or save to come back to. I really had a good time today teaching you Surya Namaskar B, and I hope it helps. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.